welcome to my channel, Haylee Marie Vintage. Today I am doing a thrift haul. This is no ordinary thrift haul. I've recently been really reflecting around my purchase habits and my impulse buying, and those are things that I would kind of like to slow down. So this thrift haul is kind of a tribute to that. So one of the things that really got me thinking about this is I wrote an article for clotheshorse.world, which you can check out. The link is going to be in the description. I am the design lead there, so I'm doing all the design work for them. And I've been kind of really thinking about my role in sustainability and fashion and how I really thrift and buy primarily secondhand to be more sustainable, but how that is kind of twisted by overconsumption. And then also having this YouTube channel where I show hauls has kind of started to make me haul things also that I don't really need. So this is going to be kind of me going through a haul and analyzing it for whether it was a mindful buy or a mindless buy. Spoiler alert, they're pretty much all mindless. So I'm looking to transform my thrifting habits over the next year to hopefully have a more mindful practice when thrifting. So definitely I'm going to fail. I'm going to still probably buy mindlessly, but I just kind of want to be more honest with you guys and talk to you about thrifting and kind of like really thinking about and being intentional about what you buy when you go out thrifting. So if that journey interests you, definitely subscribe and join me to go along on this journey with me. But yeah, every time I thrift and do vintage hauls from here on out, I'm going to kind of be talking about whether they were mindful buys or mindless buys. So we're going to dig into that. And first, I actually need to grab it. First is this guide that I have in the background of my videos. This was a really expensive thrift shop purchase. Let me bring it up to you. Look at how beautiful this is. It's stunning. This is a beautiful piece. This would go under Mindless, but with a bit of intentionality. So this guy, I knew I was moving into a new home soon and I saw it and I fell in love with it. However, it was $30, so that was a lot of money spent. And I find when I do buy things that are above $20 at the thrift shop, I am generally more mindful in how I'll use it, and I'm really happy with this piece. And while I would kind of put it in the mindless purchase, it is something I will use. So I guess I'll put that back. Okay, so next up I have, you know them, you've seen them a gajillion times. I have some slips. I need to kind of do a declutter of these and decide what I really like about them and what I don't, because I think at this point I have 5 like ivory-ish half slips like this, so I need to look at length and things like that, because the main thing right now that I'm missing is one that's a little bit shorter in length, and I don't think this is going to fit the bill to fix that. So this goes, I guess, under Mindless. Next up, I have this one here. This is a longer slip. This actually was a mindful purchase. While it is another beige slip, this one almost touches the ground for me, and so this is a perfect thing for, I have like some sheer gunny sacks and things like that that are floor length that I would kind of like to not have my legs seen with, or I would like to kind of have like that lining. And so this will be a solve for that. So this one was a mindful purchase. Next up, we've got another Mindless. I don't know about you, but for me, when I see cashmere at the thrift store, I get really excited, and I don't feel like I really look at the item and like analyze how it fits. So I struggle to wear short sleeve sweaters because they're really warm, but then they're short sleeved, and that's like kind of a confusing clothing item. I do think this one looks super 50s, and I do really like that, so we'll see if it fits into my wardrobe long term. But I would put this under a mindless purchase, and if I had probably taken like some time to really look and analyze, I probably would have left this at the thrift shop. One thing I'll note with all the items that I would say are mindless and I'm not sure if I'm keeping, I'm going to try to make them fit into my wardrobe, and if not, I will be passing them along via Depop, Poshmark, Vinted, Mercarium, on all those platforms, and you can check that out in the bio. Or not in the bio, this is on Instagram, check that out down below. Different platforms. Next up, we've got another Mindless purchase. This doesn't fit the best, which right now that's a little bit of a bigger question at the thrift stores because you can't try things on anymore. So you do sometimes take home things that aren't fitting right because you didn't get the chance. So I probably would have left this at the thrift shop. However, I did go back and do a return from the day I purchased this, so it clearly fit well enough for me to want to keep. I really liked the back like chiffon-y thing here, and it's a really low back dress. It just doesn't really fit me as well as I would want. Like here, like the darts here are very much not for me. We'll see. I'm going to look at all my other black dresses, but I think this will probably get put up on my Depop. And in the future, I really need to look carefully at little black dresses. I own enough, and I own some really beautiful 40s and 50s ones, that ones like that are just going to be less of a priority for me to wear. And also, it had sparkles. I don't need sparkle. I don't know how often I wear sparkle. And speaking of sparkle, we've got this one here. This is a really like fantastic classic 80s. This was a Mindless purchase. I also didn't look it over well in the thrift shop, so it has a stain in the front, like here-ish. I really liked the like pointiness, like the different shapes here, and it's like a lot of the pieces from the 80s like this, it's silk and beaded, and so it looks really pretty, but I didn't need it. The lining is polyester, but the like garment itself is silk. So yeah, I didn't need this one, and it also doesn't really fit me that well. You'll see that in the try-on, but it doesn't fit me particularly well, so this was one I should have left at the thrift shops. The other thing too is it has a big ol' hole in the armpit, so I'm going to look at kind of if I can repair this, and then repair it up a bit, and then probably list it in my online shop. Next up, we've got more sparkle. Sparkle is a huge thing that I struggle to leave at the thrift shops. I love glitter, I love sparkle, but I don't wear it that often, so it's really impractical for me to be buying it as much as I do. And these have shoulder pads in them. Actually, the last one did too. And this is just like a basic 80s, kind of bad 80s, 90s sweater. It's like fine. I have way better bad 80s and 90s sweaters though, so I really need to be more mindful about what I'm putting into my collection, because this like won't make the cut when I do my next cut in my wardrobe. So this was definitely a Mindless buy. And in the future, I will try to leave pieces like this in the thrift shop. Next up, we have another, it's kind of along that theme. It is another kind of bad sweater. This one's definitely more modern. It's like kind of a fake patchwork looking one. I actually have no idea how this was knitted. It's very interesting looking at it. It's cute, the colors are nice. However, I just have better sweaters than this. And so this was another one that I should have left at the thrift shop and was a pretty mindless purchase. Next up, we've got another Mindless. You can see a theme. Most of what I buy at the thrift shop is really pretty mindless. Really, I've only had one, I would say, fully mindful thing so far this haul. But this is just a black eyelet top. I love eyelet fabric, but this one is honestly lower quality than what I will wear. It's not that it's bad quality. I just am a little bit picky. And so we'll kind of, again, see. I'm going to try, first of all, replacing the buttons. I think the buttons on this are really horrible. They're like these gray. I'm sure they've faded over the years. So I'd like to replace the buttons and see how I feel about it. And then after that, I'll probably get rid of it. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so that is kind of another Mindless. I'm pretty mindless about buying blouses, but this one is just like really poor quality. So I should have left it. And I think it was one of those things that, yeah, I bought because it was $2.50, which is like not a good reason to buy something. Next up, another Mindless. Shocking, I know. I don't really wear pleated skirts like this. This is kind of a pleated schoolgirl skirt. This one, I think I put in the washing machine and it did not reshape so well. So I'm going to need to take the time to iron this guy and really try to get those pleats whipped back into shape. And then it also needs mending. A lot of the pleats are done with the stitch that goes down and then across and then up. And the stitch is actually weakened and broken at the point where it goes across to make the box pleat. So I'm going to also have to fix that. And we all know how well it goes when you buy something to fix. So yeah, that's like not great. And this was definitely a Mindless purchase. I do think it's really cute and has potential. But we'll see. I also like need to be pretty honest with myself for me to become more mindful about thrifting. Next up, we've got this one. This is another Mindless purchase. I think I like this one more. I don't know. I do really like both these skirts. And so we'll see if they fit in my wardrobe. I like how bright this one is. And I feel like a lot of like basic tops I could wear with it. That would be really cute. It was, I think, not $5.99. It was cheaper than that because it was 25% off. So it was a pretty good price. I liked the color. The pleats are set pretty well. It's a Anne Klein, and I'm sure it's polyester. It doesn't really say though. And so yeah, it's cute, but this again was a really Mindless purchase. And I just, as you can see, I am a hugely mindless thrifter. I go in with no plan, and I would say I don't really evaluate what I have in my wardrobe when I buy something. And so that's something I'm going to need to change. Next up, I'm gonna call this a mindful purchase. You'll see this better when I try it on, but this is a really nice black skirt. It's really thick, it's really heavy. It hits about like mid-calf for me. I really like this velvet detail up at the top, but I can also take that off. So this is a really multifunctional piece. It feels like wool, but I don't believe it has a content tag, but let me real quick dig around to check that out. Oh, it had a content tag. And then the other thing about this one is the lining's kind of a mess. So I'm gonna have to redo the lining, but it has pockets and it just looks really nice. So I think this will actually replace some of my other black skirts that I've bought mindlessly. And that's the other struggle when you're thrifting, is sometimes you like get something that's like good enough and then later you find something better. And so I have a feeling as I look to more mindful thrifting that is still gonna happen to me. But we're gonna, like I said, see as I kind of go on this journey of transforming from mindless to mindful thrifting. But I would put this in a mindful, and I think I'll have this a long time. It's a great winter skirt. You could put lots of petticoats under it, and you can make it, and it's just like also warm. So not so great for the summer, but I don't know how much, I feel like I wear a lot of dresses in the summer. Next up, we've got another Mindless purchase. I actually meant to put this after a different purchase. We're down to my last two for this video. So this is like a nightie. It's really long. It actually like hits my leg length perfectly because I'm fairly short. I feel like I need to talk about the next one to real quick talk about why this one's mindless. So we're going to come back to this guy. So this is my mindful purchase. It is, I think it starts with a P. It's a type of set. And I have both the nightgown and the night dress here. And so I've been looking for one of these sets for a really long time. And I knew I could find it one day at the thrift store, so I didn't purchase it from a vintage reseller. And I really like this one. This one's the exact color I like. It's a really pale blue. It has snowdrops on it, which are one of my favorite flowers. We get snowdrops here in Seattle, and it really like tells you spring is super close. I liked the lace detail here, and then there's a lace detail on the coat. And this is a good function for me as kind of almost a bathrobe set for summer when I'm walking around the house. So this one was a pretty mindful purchase. And I had been looking for one of these for a really long time, which brings me back to this guy. So I purchased this one at the same day at the same store. So this kind of, it becomes a mindless purchase because it would have been more mindful because it was like something I wanted, but I found something I wanted that was perfect in the exact same trip. And I just also picked up this one because I was really excited to find it. And that's like not quite a good reason to necessarily pick something up. And then this one, I also need to repair all the ribbons. The ribbons are in rough shape. So I'm going to look at replacing those. That'll be fun. But I do have some nice ribbons, so I'll probably replace them with some nice silk. And I do like this one enough that I wouldn't say like I regret it. Cause like what I would say is like there's some regrets in this pile, like that sequin top or that black dress. But like I don't regret this one, but it was definitely like not something I needed. So that's kind of where we land here. And that is the last item for this haul. I hope you enjoyed this and will support me on my journey to kind of trying to thrift a little bit more mindfully and a little less, honestly, to like haul stuff to show you guys, because that's not sustainable. That's not what I'm about. And like, quite frankly, I don't have the closet space. I can't just like buy and buy and buy and buy more stuff. And with now living alone, I need to be a lot more mindful budget-wise. So kind of all of that has combined to make me definitely want to be more mindful about thrifting. So I hope you'll join me in that journey, and I would love to hear like down below in the comments like how you're feeling about thrifting and hauling, and if you feel kind of like me or maybe you don't, and I would love to hear that too, because I think it's really interesting, all the different perspectives. I think thrifters, we're kind of unique because when we shop, we're kind of like the combo of like the deal hunter and then like the treasure hunter, because like you're looking for a deal at a thrift shop. It's why one of the reasons that at least that like I go, but then like it's also like treasure hunting, and so I feel like it's really easy to get caught up in the thrill of the hunt, and that's something I would really like to stop. So yeah, I hope you'll join me in that journey, and I hope you will subscribe and stick around and kind of see how a more mindful thrifting life goes for me. I'll be curious how it goes for me too. Yeah, so if you enjoyed this video, definitely stick around. I post every single Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, and I will see you next time. Bye!